Hello, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another live stream here at TrinFx. Um, we're just gonna dive straight into it for the week. Today, let's just see what's happening in the market, guys. So I'm just signing right here. Hope everybody's having a great trading week. Um, hope everybody had a wonderful trading week, actually. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So looking at GJ, right? Just gonna get into it real quick. So we actually fell back out into this range, right? Um, Initially we did have some levels here. We saw price continue upwards, and then from back into this area, we saw price continue dropping down. So I expected this to happen, and now we can see that price is continuously pushing at that point. Um, Take a look here at the daily. So we've been trading in sort of this kind of range here, right? And trading off of this support area. So essentially what I'm looking for is another retest of this level and a possible pushback up on price. Now, in terms of the fundamental data that we do have coming out, we do have some hard news. So we have unemployment, expected unemployment to actually be a little higher than expected, right? Than the previous, right? um, as well as employment change. We can see that in the employment change compared to the 108 consensus we had from the last previous data, we now have 5k, right? So not that much in terms of employment change, which would be bearish for the CAD if this number does come out less than expected. But we'll see. This 108 move was very unexpected, right? Came out a lot higher than anticipated. So we may see that being the case again here for the CAD. However, nothing is for certain, but that is something I'd like to note as well. Coming with the CAD dollar. So hopefully I'm being heard clearly. Everybody's hearing me clearly. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Let's pop this up. So hopefully everybody's hearing me clearly. So here on the JPY, I would look to enter I want to enter for a long possibly, just because this is something we've been seeing repeatedly, right? So we saw price come retest this area, we check off, came back up here, and now we're approaching, we're seeing sort of a rejection right here, right? Not a full on retest of the level, but we're seeing something similar here. Right, price initially basically pulled in right into this area here, and now is whether we're gonna see a continuation moving down back into the major level, or is price going to reject from this area and continue moving back up, right? So that's the thing at this point here. Very strong bearishness, but again, if we're reading the price action data, what we saw price did initially, from over here, right? Multiple times we saw price just working back and forth between these two areas. This here was another level that we pay attention to. We saw price initially came into this area, rejected, came back, strong rejections, pushed back up into, right? Then we saw a push below this area, retest of this major zone, right? And then we saw that continuation back up here, this being the level that we're paying attention to the most, where price is rejecting and respected from. And then we saw this pullback here. So at this point, in terms of overall momentum, where price could possibly go, I am biased to say to the downside, right? Because this is something we've been seeing, the bearishness on price continuously pushing downwards. However, I am not going to dismiss the fact that we did have price multiple times coming into this area right here. Essentially, this would be the trade setup to take right here, right? Possibly banking on that move back upwards here on price. Other than that, some other levels to pay attention to possibly go long is if we see price actually push past this area here, we could get some continuations as well. So this is another level that I'll pay attention to possibly get into long setups on this, right? And again, this is just something we've been seeing with the market open. We saw price actually retract from these levels, pushed up pretty significantly. So this is why I noted this as a area of importance and an area we could possibly see price do the exact same thing again. So that's why I'm going to take the trade right around here, coming closer, maybe like around 10 minutes towards the trade, right? We could wait until then and let it play out, as well as if price does reach back up into this level, then we continue moving up. All right, so that is the trade idea, the trade setup. So this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna actually enter this right now and just hold it. I'm gonna enter it right now and just hold it for that move back upwards. Noting that this is the area that we should be respecting, right? Only 30 minutes. You can see price came down a little bit more and then continued, but we may get that continuation right from this level here. Right, so hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask within the within the chat. Other than that, gonna actually take this trade setup right here. Right. So thank you for joining, and we'll see what price decides to do. Other than that, we also have NFP coming on today. So we have some USD related stuff, which would affect the US currency, the dollar strength. We saw that price continuously gradually fell, and now we're pushing past this level. So this is pretty, something that everybody's looking, towards, right? To see price maintain this level or actually push below as an investor, because this is the next major level within this uptrend. So you want this in major uptrend, right? So you want this to be held for those continuation moves upwards. However, we're seeing price gradually retest deeper and deeper into this zone, and we may start falling at this point, right? So that's something to basically note there. So we may start seeing price actually fall. Well, we'll see a reverse on price, such as here in NZD USD. We might see a continuation to the upside. We also have like AD USD and those other USD cross pairs, the major cross pairs, right? So yeah, that's one thing that we could possibly expect from price. This, I had a trade on this as well, looking to continue to downside as price breakdown here, looking for a clear bearish break to continue downwards. But we'll see what price decides to do here. All right, so this is a trade entered, and just and yesterday we took a L yesterday, right? Uncommon, but also part of the game, right? Price going at 164. Not 999. Right, that is the trade that we're looking at. So we're gonna see how that plays out. And then we have that secondary entry right here as price continue doing its thing. We should see the volume continue back towards up here, and especially if we do see that weakness continue for the USD. It would give a lot of momentum towards the other cross pairs such as the JP, Euro, AD, and NZD, which is why this could potentially come back all the way up here. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. Coming in next 20 minutes or so. So yeah, So thank you guys for joining, and please feel free to leave a like on the stream. Other than that, not much really to happen right now, right? We waited for those card news. We have the Sorry, we have the card news. We also have the we have the unemployment and NFP being the main focus too right here, right? So the consensus is a lot less than the previous. So if the actual does come out as less than, that would be bad for the US dollar. Causes it to tank even more and this to even, rise even more, right? So that's always a possibility as well. Um, that being said, not much really going on. Again, so very slow day, right? So let's see how all of this plays out. All of this here, price was just ranging back and forth here. This also was a trade I took. Um, Price just pushed down like in the next hour, and as you see, we gradually came back. We were dancing in that area, and we gradually came into profit here, ever so slightly. There's been sort of a tricky trading scenario when it comes to price action here. All right, so hopefully you guys get something out of this. Just give me a excuse me for a moment. After adjust this ankle strap that I do have, because I managed to mess up my ankle on my left foot. So yeah, I'm just struggling a little bit here with this, guys. Hopefully you guys don't be like me and just um wastefully do unnecessary things to cause permanent damage to yourself by accident. So yeah, be better than me, guys. I don't even know how to explain it, but it hurts like a bitch, not even gonna lie. Yeah, yeah. All right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Hopefully I'm being heard clearly. All right. All right. All right. Um yeah. So we're just gonna go with like everything that we saw happening before. We should see it happen again here on JPY, right? It's sort of like a duality when it comes to the fundamental data analyzation, because again we anticipated that from after price made this high or whatever, we're gonna most likely continue back downwards, right? Um, this initial bullish movement is fundamentally based, right? And I think that's something like we'll continuously see until we have some pivotal change in the fundamentals themselves, right? So maybe NFP might be the driver to continue price moving even further upwards, depending on how impactful it is, the numbers that we do get, that may affect the price action. Vice versa, maybe it might push downwards even further, depending on how much weaker the US dollar does get. So really, it's there's a duality towards it. So is anybody guess really what can happen as NFP comes up? So I'm not too highly focused on that, and I want to be in the trade, in and out the trade before NFP does eventually push it in whatever direction it decides to push it in. And that's like in the next 5 hours, right? So at 9:30 a.m. we have NFP. So that might just cause price to spike all the way up, or maybe might see a spike all the way down. It depends, right? On just how bad this number does come out. If it does come out bad, or if it comes out extremely positive, right? Maybe this might actually come out as 300K. That would really help the US dollar, especially after Fed Powell's speech, right, where the optimism was kind of lacking. and the US dollar continue pushing even lower as he talked about inflation and the risk of over tightening. So all of that does play a part, essentially on the dollar strength, right? And we also have a lot of different stuff like the China the China lockdowns and COVID lockdowns and all of that, risks of recessions, all of that also has a major impact on the U.S. economy, as well as, it's not something they could actually control, right? So increasing rates wouldn't do anything, and they could also risk over tightening. So they need to regulate everything with like more scrutiny when it comes to, raising their rates and whatever the case is. So, with all that being said, that's why it's sort of difficult to really pinpoint where the US dollar would be heading, and the US dollar, what happens with the dollar itself, does affect and it does impact all the other currency pairs that we do trade, right? So, yeah, just a little knowledge that I'm departing to you guys. So hopefully, that helps with understanding certain stuff that has happened to the market. It's partially due to the fundamentals of the US dollar itself. All right. Um, yeah, so here looking at gold, we saw gold continuously rised up, right? Again, with that dollar weakness, investors just flocking towards this asset, right? And we continue seeing this push in gold to the upside, this swing to the upside. And let's take a look here on the daily, right? So we had a pivotal moment here too as well on the daily time frame, coming into this major resistance zone. Gold could possibly continue pushing higher up, right? All the way back up into here, even further up, right? As long as that US dollar weakness does continue, you'll see the assets such as gold and other commodities just continue rising up. Stock markets would actually do better as well. So all of that does have this does also have the potential to continue rising, really depending on how that US dollar news does go. We also have interest rates for the US dollar too in the next 2 weeks, I think, somewhere the 13th or 14th of December. We have interest rates for the dollar as well. Investors are expecting a 50 base point increase rather than a 75 base point increase, which is less than what they want to see. And if that does come out as a 50 base point increase, then we'll see the dollar tank even more, right? Especially given the data that we would be focusing on before that. I think 2 days before that, prior to that, or maybe the day before, something like that, we look at other fundamental data concerning the labor markets, right? Employment and employment changes or whatever, and that would really impact what they decide to raise, how much they decide to raise rates by. So that is like the focus before the actual focus, right? So we'll use that data from the labor market data to really understand, okay, are we going to see a price increase by 75 base points, or are we going to see just a 50 base point increase and we would see the dollar continue tanking even more, right? So a little heads up, um, that is what investors are looking at. So we, as the retail traders, could also take advantage of that and understand, okay, what it is that's in key focus right now for investors, and possibly get some gains off of that itself, right? So right, as you entered right here, I'm currently floating in some profits around 1% ish. So you could actually reduce your risk and let this do whatever. Hopefully we might see price continue back upwards to here. And we'll just leave it, let it play out for the day. This is another area of entry that I'm looking at. For 1 to 7, and this will contribute into 18, 19, I say 20, so 60%, because I'm risking 3% per trade. So that is something that this could actually be the winner that breaks the previous losses, right? So we'll see how this goes. Um, but concerning overall price action, what we've seen before, it should continue moving upwards. Especially that we do have, this is something that has happened in the past year, right? Very recently we saw that movement right there. So this is something that we could potentially see happen again, right? Highly probable that we could. Looking here at the 30 and the 15 minute, 30 minutes. Right, price rejected this. We reject this as a support level. So you want to see this close here, bullishly, and look for those continuations. If we do get a push up here, then we know that likely more likely to see price continue to the bullish side, right? 15-minute time frame. Yeah, we retested this as support. Looking right here on the current 15-minute candle. Looking to see this hold and continue moving upwards. Right. So yeah, we'll just wait and see how that plays out. Right. And I think that's it, right? We don't really have much else to really pay attention to. And in terms of the fundamental data, then we talked about what's expected after what we're looking to see forward to happening. Um, so yeah, everything else, shucks. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Price has just been ranging a lot, right here as well. Price came out, then we started ranging this sort of a consolidation standpoint, and gradually that's something that we're seeing becoming more of a theme as the as December month comes in. We'll probably start seeing more of this, especially when we don't have any news to act as catalyst to give us volume, right? All this year, 80 card, not much, right, guys? So yeah, that's basically all that we have happening. So I think that's it for like explanations in terms of what we could expect. TJ, just gonna gradually watch this, right? So I'm just gonna leave it, let it do its thing, and I'll update you guys as things continue progressing inside the VIP group. We'll see how it plays out, and if we do get stopped out, then I'll look for another possible entry, whether it's to the upside or downside. We'll look and see how price action reacts, and that'll give us possible bias as to, okay, should we continue looking to see upward movement, or is price just going to continue pushing bearishly? Right, guys? So that's it for me. I'm gonna end it here. I really did not come on with the mind of carrying this on like for very too long. So yeah, I'm getting straight to the point. Hopefully you guys get a trade out of this, and yeah, we'll see how it works out. So thank you for joining, and please leave a like, as it helps out the stream a lot, as well as provide this content to people out there that may find it useful. So thank you for joining in, guys. Really appreciate it. Uh, and yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Okay, so that's it for now. Um, yeah, yeah. I gotta be telling you guys thanks mostly because I'm really doing this for you guys, and I appreciate that you appreciate the content. So that's all that really matters to me. Yeah, so thanks guys, and I'll see you well next week, I guess. And well, those inside the VIP group, I'll try to do a what you call it. We'll do a weekly analysis, right? The reason I haven't been doing it recently is just because not really much discussed with everything that's happening. It's more like fundamental impacts. We can only see it when it happens. That's the catalyst. It doesn't make sense drawing up anything right now because all of this could just shift in the next fundamental news and most likely gonna range, yada yada, right? But we'll do it, right? So thank you guys for joining.